You see his blood, it drained into the boards, and I had to change them. But we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us.
ヴィランの目的の一つがガッチャンだって判明したんだ。
バクゴー、命を狙われているのか。なぜ？
わからない。とにかくブラッドキング、相沢先生、プロ2名がいる施設が最も安全だと思うんだ。
なるほど。これより我々の任はバクゴーを送り届けること。ちゃんとついてこいよ。
大丈夫、全然歩けるし。っていうかテク君の方が。
立ち止まってる場合か。早く行こう。
とりあえず無事でよかった。そうだ、一緒に来て。僕ら今ガッチャンの護衛をしつつ施設に向かってるんだ。
けどバクゴちゃんを護衛。
彼なら俺のマジックでもらっちゃったよ。こいつはヒーロー側にいるべき人材じゃあねえ。もっと輝ける舞台へ俺たちが連れてく。
Hey guys, it's Tripl-L. I hope you enjoyed that quick little skit at the beginning. I could just tell you, I really love making those little skits. As cheap as they are some of the more fun things to sit down and edit. Anyway, yeah, I was just working on that skit. I think there's a few things that, you know, we can legitimately talk about when it comes to that whole Mr. Compress thing. If there was ever a weakness for villains, it's the desire to gloat, you know, it's just that desire to be a hammy villain. And with Mr. Compress, it's especially pronounced in that whole sequence. Because like the events in the skit itself like aren't that far from reality. What Mr. Compress ended up doing, he was behind the group, he caught Bakugo and Tokoyami, he had to get close enough to touch them, and then once he had done that, he went and took time to actually try and get in front of the group, and then took the time to also climb into a tree. If that's not a hammy villain, I don't know what is. And we know that because in the episode itself, we see everyone looks back for, you know, towards the direction of the way they came. They turn around when Mr. Compress says something and they're looking back in the direction that they were originally facing. Mr. Compress and went all the way to get in front of them, and no one noticed. He could have just ran. He could have just groped the two boys and just gotten out of there. He could have just left, but you know, he took the extra time to get in front of the guys. And really, you can easily say that's just the drama of the situation. That's just, you know, the series being dramatic. You need that kind of dramatic force. But when you look at the actual logic of the character, it's like, okay, that was pretty stupid. Mind you, with Mr. Compress, if he hadn't revealed his presence, he could have just ran away. He wouldn't have ended off the episode with being smashed by three boys. Instead, he would have just been scot-free and the kids would have been there to panic. While we can call his maneuvers stupid, what they ultimately are just a character flaw, right? We can argue this is a character flaw. When you look at Compress, he has the characterization of a performer. He wants to make a big deal. He wants to be flamboyant. He wants to show his tricks. That's very much performer. Him going and moving out of the way or grabbing the kids and then running ahead of the group so that he can make a grand reveal, that is totally within the characterization of that type of character. For villains, that desire to glow is definitely a flaw, and Compress is playing it up, and we get to see it in full force. The episode just sets him up and brings him down with just so much haste. But I think that's why he's a good character, right? Like, that's a flaw that's understandable. It's consistent with his characterization, and it makes for like some entertaining stuff. Speaking of characters that are also living up to their characterization, let's also talk about Izuku real quick. And if you guys follow me with Hero Academia in general, you know I like to really just rag on Izuku whenever I get the opportunity. There's still many things I believe about Izuku, one of them being that Izuku talks too much. And you know, I realized in this episode, yeah, he is still talking too much. So welcome to my very quick little lesson called Why Izuku is Wrong. Like always. Okay, no, not like always. Izuku's actually right very often, but this time he's not. Specifically this scene where Izuku says they hadn't let their guard down. I'm not sure about that, Izuku. So here, let me ask some questions. Izuku, why didn't you look behind you at any point in time between these 2 points that you were traveling? There was a long stretch of forest there and you're telling me you never looked back. 2, why didn't you have a sound off system in place? You know, say every 5 steps you say here and then everyone else sounds off with here. You know, do roll call, make sure people are there. 3, why didn't you get suspicious when Bakugo was quiet? 4, did you assume you would be able to hear when someone was coming?
後ろの2人を音もなくさらったってのか。どういう個性だ。
5, did you think you were somehow invincible?
このメンツなら正直オールマイトだって怖くないんじゃないかな。
なんだこいつら。
I don't know, Izuku. It really seems like you let your guard down because you thought you were getting away with it. Okay, disclaimer. At the end of the day, I'm directing questions at a fictional character. That's a waste of time. But I thought it was funny in the script. The point of those questions, though, is that I think those are the questions that the readers or viewers should be asking themselves if you want to engage critically with the material. Really, when you look at it, you look at the statement that Izuku initially uttered, being that no one let their guard down. That statement is fundamentally flawed. It's fundamentally untrue. However, the statement makes sense in the context if the author wanted to deliver the message of this was a very hard thing for the villain to accomplish. However, I think this could be seen in one of 2 ways. It's either the author wants to build a flaw into Izuku, that being that Izuku overestimates himself a little bit in this moment, or the fault lies more on the author's sequencing of events here. And why do we know that it's a fundamentally untrue statement? Because why doesn't Joji have any extra ears produced in any of these scenes? It's not as if people are actively gunning for you and being able to hear them coming from far away, bolstering those chances. It's not as if that would be a benefit to you, right? I mean, yeah, no, Izuku, you let your guard down. You think you didn't, but you did. The moment that you assumed you were invincible, the moment you assumed that you would be able to hear someone coming, that you let your guard down. That's Izuku, guys. But yeah, no, actually, that was just one of the little things I noticed. I would have put it in the skit as well, but Mr. Compressed can't read minds, unfortunately. But yeah, I found that bit really funny because, again, you consider the amount of land that they traverse and the fact that they never once looked back to check where Bakugo and Tokoyami were in general. You know, even Mr. Compressed, him being that quiet to even get close to the 2 boys in general, it's kind of weird, but the kids were caught by surprise that they couldn't hear someone coming behind them. And Izuku, that's the rhetoric of someone who's overconfident. But that's my thoughts on it. All things considered, it's just happening because that's the way the plot had to go. But it is very funny, in my opinion, to see it. Anyway, guys, that's definitely it from me. Those were 2 little points I wanted to say. And yeah, until next time.